everybody, welcome to the Vinyl Channel. I'm the Vinyl Guy Boz. This is going to be a contest entry video for Craig Danger at Vinyl Record Player. He is celebrating 3 years in the vinyl community, and he wants us to show 3 to 5 different blind buys, records that we picked up in a store, wasn't too sure. Maybe we didn't know the artist. Maybe we weren't familiar at all with the tracks on the record, stuff like that. And plus add one more that didn't work out. Now, kind of hard for me to pick one that didn't work out, because when I buy a blind buy and the blind buy doesn't work out, I don't care for it. I will resell that record, or I will send it for VCLT, or do something with the record. It pretty much does not stay in my collection. I did scrap one that I still have, so I'm gonna go ahead and get started. All right. All right, so the first one is one that I picked up. A lot of these I don't remember specifically which store. I think this is from Rock and Roll Heaven in Orlando. I was just going through the K's, and I'm sorry, the G's, and came across this. A lot of times for blind buys, the artwork will really get me, and I really like the artwork on this one. This is Kid Glove. I don't remember a lot about it. I remember it was a good record. It's a straight, okay, it's from 1984. It's on the Morocco label, which is not a very common label. I'll show you the label for this one. Kind of cool. So, but it's just I think this guy is metal, or something close to mainstream rock. But it was a really good album. It was on yellow vinyl. I think I looked it up. I think the promo was on yellow. I think that, yeah, not for sale. So the promo was on yellow vinyl. So again, 1984, Kid Glove, mainstream rock. That's the first one right there. We're going to move on to the next one that I picked up as a blind buy. This is Mass. Didn't know anything about this band or what was on this, but I really liked the artwork on this one as well. So, but it's a really great band, and forget what year this one was put out. If I can read it here, not enough light in this room to do this, but I don't know. I think it was 80s though. It's on the RCA label. So another rock band. But that's the second blind buy. I had no clue about that, but ended up being pretty good. So the third one I got from a stack of records that I picked up because someone down the street told me they had boxes and boxes of records in their house and they wanted to get rid of them. And I come over and pick through them for $1 a record. A lot of them were brand new sealed records, but a lot of them I'd never heard of before. But for $1 a piece, you really can't go wrong. This was one of the records. I had no idea who Baker Gurvitz, what is it? The Baker Gurvitz Army? Is that what it is, or Baker Army Gurvitz? I have no idea. But it's Hearts on Fire. I thought it might have been a country record, but it's not a country record from what I remember. I think it's just more mainstream rock stuff. But it's on the Atco label. Ended up being a pretty good label, a pretty good record. I recall that. But yep, that's one. Another blind buy. We have Derringer. I had no idea about this one. I knew the name Rick Derringer, and I kind of thought it had something to do with him. But I really did not know any tracks on this. I never seen this album before. So it was in a bargain bin somewhere. I think I got it for like $4 or so. But it ended up being a really good record. I'm not sure what the year was on this one. If I can read it here, it looks like it's telling me 1976. So, and it's on the Blue Sky label. So that's the back of this if you want to see it. So, but it ended up being again mainstream rock. That's the main thing that I collected, mainstream rock. So yep, Derringer, pretty good. Another blind buy here that I picked up again out of a bargain bin somewhere. This is Hounds, Putting on the Dog. So pretty good stuff on the Columbia label. I believe this was I want to say Rockabilly, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. I don't remember everything about this record, but I do recall it was a blind buy. And again, it was probably 1980s. The bulk of my collection is 1980s. So, and the writing is way too small. I need to get a magnifying glass to read that. So, but there you go. There's Hounds. There's another one. And last but not least is last one? Yeah, I guess what this is. So, this was like, I got this one about 5 years ago. I was on a website and they had a sale for a bunch of records. And if you got it up to over $50, it was free shipping. Shipping was like, it was going to be like $15, $16, $17 for all the records that I picked out. So this one here was a $15 record, so it got me to free shipping. And basically, this one was free. I had no idea. There really was nothing else on the website that I wanted or even knew. So I kind of went through. I kind of like this cover. It's kind of interesting cover. And the band, Grandma's Boyfriend is the name of the band. So, it's kind of punkish group on the punkish side, kind of sort of. It's okay. It's okay. So, yeah, that's another blind buy that I picked up. So now we're talking about a record that didn't work out. Again, this is hard for me because if I buy a blind buy or pretty much any record and it doesn't work out, I don't keep it. I sell it. I give it away to a friend. I'll send it for VCLT. I'll do something else with the record. It doesn't stay in my collection. But this one I picked up out of a Salvation Army for 50 cents. And this one was Jazz Sessions, Harry James. This is probably my first jazz LP that I bought. I have nothing against jazz per se. I enjoy jazz, but I just never really had any jazz in my collection. I probably have a few jazz 45s, but up to this point, I had no jazz LPs in my collection. Nothing that I would say was just jazz. So for 50 cents, I picked this up and brought it home, and it cracked and it poppled and had a skip somewhere too. So it really was not, well, for 50 cents, you would expect that it would not play very well, and it didn't. I almost didn't keep it. But I played it a few times and listened beyond the crackles and the pops and the skip. And it actually was a really good record. So I ended up going on to Discogs and buying a EX or a near mint copy of it. And this is it right here, because I really liked the record and I wanted to hear it the way that it should be heard. But usually what I would do in this case, I would, if I upgrade a record, I would usually not keep the original. But for some reason, since this one here was the very first jazz record I bought, and since then I've expanded my jazz. I still don't have a whole lot. I may have maybe 25 jazz LPs, maybe 30 by now. So I've been slowly expanding my jazz in my collection. But since this one is the very first one that I ever got, I decided to go ahead and keep it. So I still have it. So, but that's it. That's the one that didn't work out because it has skips and pops and crackles in it. There you go. Craig Danger over at the Vinyl Record Player. There's my 3 to 5 that were blind buys and one that didn't work out, even though that I kept it. So that's going to be it for this video. I do want to thank everybody for joining me today, and I'll see you all next time.